This screencast was created as a short overview of the Iowa School Report Card. In 2013, the Iowa legislature passed House File 215, which compelled the Iowa Department of Education to develop a school performance system and report card for all Iowa schools. The purpose was to establish specific performance goals and evaluate the effectiveness of each attendance center. So the important piece in this slide is to note that each attendance center will be found on the report card for the state of Iowa. So what does all this mean? How does it impact me? How does it impact our district? How does it impact our schools and community? While the legislative report provided a specific set of recommendations for measuring each indicator, it did not propose a method for bringing multiple measures together into an overall rating system. The Iowa Department of Education felt very strongly that it must work with external stakeholders to complete the tasks which are highlighted in the legislation. Specifically, the school report card must be built collaboratively with the consensus around the process and methodology for rating Iowa schools. And the above list provides for you the collaboration that occurred in order to come to the consensus that is now what is called the Iowa School Report Card. There are approximately 1,300 schools in Iowa which must be measured by the school report card system. These represent different grade configurations from early childhood centers to high schools. Not all the measures apply to all the grades served. For example, graduation rates would not apply to grade schools. Therefore, it was important to build a report card which accounts for the measures at each appropriate grade level. This allows for a school's score to be made with like comparisons. Elementary would be scored next to an elementary, middle schools to a middle school, and high school to a high school. So what are the required elements? The required elements of the school report card include the following: academic proficiency, closing the achievement gap, annual growth, college and career ready growth, on track for college readiness, graduation rate, average daily attendance, and staff retention. Parental involvement and community involvement are two measures which were included in the legislation but will not be available in the first release of the school report card. These measures will be added in a subsequent release, approximately 2016. Because the school report card system includes multiple metrics, the value of each in contributing to an overall score is a critical decision point. This is truly a value exercise in which one determines how much each measure is going to be worth and assigns it a weighting. The weight of each measure defines how much a given metric contributes to the overall score. A consensus was reached to assign the following weightings. Proficiency, gap, and growth would be worth 20% or 60% total. College readiness and graduation worth 10% each or 20%, and the 20% left distributed across the remaining indicators. However, because each measure does not apply to all school levels and not all measures are available for each type of school, a final decision was made to adjust the weighting to account for these differences. So you may be asking, how is a school's overall rating calculated? The overall rating score determines which school report card category the school is assigned. You can see the categories listed on this slide. The categories are exceptional, high performing, commendable, acceptable, needs improvement, and priority. To get the overall score, you add up all of the points received for each of the individual measures. The scores assigned to each area were determined using 13, 14, and 14, 15 levels combined. The goal is to lock in the cuts and the distribution for multiple years so schools can work towards improvement. However, if there are large changes, such as adoption of a new assessment, update of the scale might be required to more adequately reflect performance. An overall school rating obviously does not provide contextual information about a school, nor does it make a conclusion about the quality of the staff or provide important information about ongoing work to raise student achievement. The report card should create a constructive dialogue between educators, administrators, and parents about the work that's currently underway in the school to support all students in achieving their full potential, which is what we all want for our kids. While the report card may not tell us the whole story about a school, it does offer a high-level view of student performance across a number of measures. A composite score is generated from multiple years of data, which depicts a stable picture of performance across time. Consumers can use these data to compare a school against the state average and to see if the information provides any trends in performance. Schools can also use this information to assist them in developing achievement goals and to guide their improvement efforts. Some other facts to consider. In order to build a stable rating system, it was determined that using multiple years of data would likely result in less fluctuation than using data from a single year. For all measures, the most recent 2 years available for each measure was used in the calculations. The years available is dependent by which measure based on when the data became available, but note that multiple years have been used whenever possible. Secondly, the information included can help schools to be the best they can be for the students, the parents, and the community. Relative to subgroups, to reduce the variability and decrease disclosure of personal information, each measure in the school report card required there to be at least 20 students with data in the years needed to calculate a score. The employee retention measure required at least 10 staff members in the base year to calculate a score. We've been notified that the Department of Education is anticipating a release date of the public Iowa School Report Card website on or around December 14th, 2015. At this time, you'll be able to log on and see the entire Iowa School Report Card. As a final reminder, again, an overall school rating does not provide contextual information about the school, nor does it make a conclusion about the quality of the staff or provide important information about ongoing work to raise student achievement. These are all things to consider as you move forward and log in to review the Iowa School Report Card. In conclusion, once the Iowa Department of Education releases the school report card, there are 3 documents at that website: a list of FAQs, a very detailed technical guide about the scoring and the measures of the labeling, and then a quick guide. Of course, at this point, you might have more questions. However, once the Iowa School Report Card is released to the public, you'll be able to look up many of these answers and take some time to explore the website yourself.